Hey, Chin Music listeners, welcome to episode 29 of Chin Music with Mitch and Tony. We're your hosts, Mitch Bone and Tony Legaly. Tony, how are you, man?
Hello there, Mitch from my nightmare. Yeah,
Yes,
I really wanted to keep going with that. Miss you, miss you. How you doing, Mitch?
doing good, man. You're looking quite fresh with the
Oh
fresh
yeah,
shave and
yeah. No, I look like a 14 again. So,
yeah,
yeah, it was very interesting
babyface Tony, as I
transition.
said.
Yeah, no, yep, no. Hey, just wanted a different look. I've been out in the rays, soaking up the sun. Like, who's the gal that sings that song? Cheryl
Uh,
Crow.
oh,
Cheryl
yeah,
Crow.
that's right. Yep.
Cheryl Crow, like, oh, sun of the sun.
See, now what you should have done is you should have waited until like August or September
Mm-hmm.
and then shaved. So you had like all your tan face
Right.
and then just
Like an inverse beard.
an inverse beard. Yeah.
So I'll probably rock the beard, the beard stubble all summer. So it'll be very similar to this because, trying to soak up the sun.
Yeah. I still think you should have gone with the inverse beard though.
All right. Anyways, so man, I am so pumped to get into our show, and we've had some time. The nice part about this is what we do is, day to day, if we were to pop out an episode a day, impossible. Not enough stuff in the world, right? So we actually get the benefit of honing in on a week and a half worth, sometimes two, mostly a week worth
Yeah.
of events, man. And there's some stuff happening, and it's that springtime of year. And shoot, man, let's get right into it. I first and foremost want to know, what have you been up to? We haven't got a chance. I've been so busy doing my thing, but truly, what have you been doing?
You know what I've been doing, man? I've just been doing a lot of chilling. Brother's home for the summers, so him and I hang out a
Scout.
lot.
Siege is back.
Yeah, CJ's back. And so him and I hang out a lot, watching baseball, following the Outlaws here in Billings and all of
Yeah.
the
Billings.
craziness.
Outlaws.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. All right. No, I didn't mean that. Yeah, I know, but I was trying to think of something else. All right. Anyway, sorry.
No, that was a pretty spot on like interpretation of the announcer. That was good.
Oh, is that what he sounds like? Does he sound like
pretty
every
much.
other stadium announcer? That's the
Yeah.
impression. Actually, that one's true blue. That one's hits to home because that's actually the exact way that the Seattle Mariners announcer used to announce. Like, or he might still have the position. He should, because every time Gene Segura would come up, it made Gene Segura, little 5'10" Gene Segura, look like he's about 6'4". Now batting, Gene Segura, and I was like, oh, hit a taco. Oh.
Yeah. So no, I mean, just kind of watching a bunch of stuff kind of from the sidelines, But other than that, not a whole lot in my world. Just kind of chilling.
Chilling. Well, is there anything that pops to your head that first and foremost you'd really like to dive in on, that you were dying to get going on the show about, because it's pretty cool to talk about?
Well, okay. I know what you're talking about, and we're going to deep dive that a little later, because that is just batshit crazy.
That's back pocket ammo.
Yeah.
We're going the traditional first half of the show. Is that
Traditional first half of the show that's not crazy, and yeah, we're gonna ease in our audience a little bit here.
Well, it's traditional.
Yeah. So first, I want to talk about the Legion here. So, have you followed that at all this year?
So you're asking if I'm following the Billings American Legion? Is that what you're saying?
Billings American Legion, Scarlets, and Royals.
I have not been following it.
So the Scarlets are on a tear.
Oh.
They've only lost one game.
They're sick, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. They have
Okay.
10 guys that are going on to college ball.
That's awesome. So they're
Yeah.
stacked.
Yeah. And one is going to Washington State, Kyler Northrup.
Oh, yeah.
And then Drew McDowell is going to South Dakota State.
Nice, STSU. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Thankfully for baseball and not football.
Nice, nice. Well, good. Good luck to those guys, you know.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. No,
And then the
joking,
Royals are actually
joking.
doing decently too. They're right around 500. They had a little bit of a slow start, but they're coming around. So,
Oh, gosh, the Scarlets, they've been a powerhouse, man. They really have been. Even when I played, I mean, they were good.
yeah.
Yeah, they're well coached. Yeah, and that's really all I know about that side of things. Like the you know, that Houst has got a pretty good grasp on that, and that's just kind of right off into the sunset. That guy can. He's done a really nice job, and he's done a
Oh,
really
he has. He
good
had a
job.
couple of down years just because I always feel weird about that. So, with the way Billings does it, they split the schools up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, basically, the red side is West and then Central. And for people that don't know, West is a school of about 2,000 kids, and then Central maybe has 500.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you have the blue side, which is the Royals, and they have Senior and Skyview, which are 2,000 kid schools.
Mm-hmm.
So there's bound to be more numbers on the blue side, right?
I have my own opinions about this, and I just choose not to, talk about
Yeah.
them because I feel like I know the answer to your West High dilemma, and I have a lot of friends from West High, and
Yeah, tread lightly, Tony. I'm a West High alum too.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot. Yeah. You're from West. No. West is great. Every school's great. Billings does a really pretty good job of
I'm
doing
just
that.
giving you crap.
I know. I just like. Hey, have you ever heard like "Don't shit in your own backyard," guy? Jeez, why don't you set me up on a pedestal just with a razor blade through my fucking jugular? So what do you think about West? Do you like the colors? Were they nice when you played? Were they nice guys when you played? No, it
No.
sucked. No,
Yeah, no, they were not
I'm
nice.
joking.
I, even as a West High alum, will say that.
No, all good. Yeah. Well, that's great to hear and great for baseball in this town. And I know we got some pretty exciting things that have really transpired, and I hope that to be a part of that in some form, or to give back to that somehow. I was really pleased to hear that there'd be an area code game here, which is, I remember as a junior, I had to travel to Washington, all the way to Bellevue, Washington, for about
Right.
a 2-hour tryout. And quite frankly, I didn't even make it that long.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So what a great opportunity for a community that obviously really loves baseball, and good opportunity for it to continue to grow. So, like I said,
Yeah.
Hoos has done a really nice job. Does a really nice job managing the Triple Play Academy. Just a hardworking guy, always has been. So great player as well. So,
Yep.
anyways, yeah,
for sure. And last thing on that before we move on, next Friday will be my season debut of announcing.
Season debut.
Yeah, so I'm announcing a crosstown game.
And right guard. Yeah, Mitch Bone. They call him the bone.
But yeah.
Anyways. Yeah. So, well, that's exciting. Okay. So we have to get into probably what, Stanley Cup playoffs here? A little Stanley Cup playoff update?
Yeah, it's Stanley Cup playoff time. It's NBA playoff time, but we don't really talk much NBA in here.
No, because let's do a little bit more build up, because it's not gonna be thorough. It's a lot going on, but brief synopsises of each series in the NHL. But I have to say, if there was one team that I would follow right now, that would make me want to watch an NBA game, it's probably the New York Knicks.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just I think it's great to see some other they're a pretty historic team in themselves, and
They are.
they haven't performed well of late. I don't know. I'm not up to date. I'm so far out of it that I really don't know where that series lies. Last I looked, I thought it was 3-2.
Let me look where it's at right now. 'Cause I'm not
Oh,
100% sure either. I have one series that I'm kind of following, and I literally told my brother I flip flop on who I'm going for. Knicks are leading that one 3-2.
okay. So game 6 is probably soon.
It's tomorrow.
Ooh, fun. See, like I'm going
Yep.
for them for sure,
Yeah.
just because they're the Knicks, and you know,
Yeah.
no specific reason. All facts on this show. Well,
Oh, for
strictly
sure.
analytics. Strictly analytics.
For sure. So the series that I'm kind of like flip flopping on is Oklahoma City and Dallas. Um,
Yeah, right. Luca. You got how can you not like Luca and root for him?
right. Like Luka's one of my favorite players in the NBA, besides Kevin Durant, who lost out in the first round. So whatever. But Luka's just so amazing, and I want to see him reach an NBA Finals so badly. But like ever since I've been a little kid, and the Oklahoma City Thunder moved from Seattle, and of course had Kevin Durant, I've always liked Kevin Durant, and I've always liked the Oklahoma City Thunder. And so my brother's like, "Well, who are you going for in this series?" I'm like, "I don't know, Luka, and probably the Mavs." Well, then he asked me the other day, "Who are you going for?" I'm like, "I don't know, probably the Thunder." And he's like, "You've literally said both teams." I'm like, "I know. That's because I have no clue who I want to go for. They're both good. They both
Oh,
have players I want to see do well." And it's like I really could care less, but I also really care.
yeah. I just anything that anything that involves more of a team that's on a heater thing for me in that sport, because they put together with the Miami Heat, and that all started those super teams and everything, and dude, it's just like I don't know. I mean, the gelling of a team and the loyalty and everything, like, and I'm not just complaining about the NBA either. I'm talking about just in general. Like, I'm just like, I like that aspect of things in sports.
Yeah,
A team bonding and guys, a group of uncommon men achieving one common goal is men or women, I should say, achieving one common goal. That's
right.
absolutely breathtaking to watch as a consumer of sports, as a fan.
Yeah. And that's
So
why Oklahoma City has really taken everybody by storm because they're a bunch of young guys with one
nice.
really, really good superstar.
Yeah. So who is that guy? Because he's on the what a ho pro wants. What a pro
Shea
wants.
Gilgeous Alexander is their superstar.
So that's their guy, and he's
Yeah.
like a big deal in the NBA. And I have no idea who. This is the first I'm hearing of him because I'm that
Yeah,
out
he's
of
one of the
touch.
best players in the NBA.
So he's pretty average at best. Okay, cool. I'll start following him.
No, the thing about him that he kind of just burst onto the scene last year, really.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not crazy.
No, I mean, before he burst on last year, he was kind of just a role player, but
Okay.
he just turned it around last year and he's been really good for that Oklahoma City team. And
Nice.
he's been their veteran anchor with a bunch of first and second year guys that have just done really well this year.
Cool.
Yeah, it's kind of been cool to see, and that's kind of why I'm pulling for them. But also, I'd love to see Luka in the NBA Finals.
Sure.
So yeah,
Well,
so whoever wins
uh,
out of that series, that's who I want in the NBA Finals.
let's go. Yeah, and we will. I mean, I'm not ashamed to dissect those things. So, four major series going on right now. Diving into the 2024 Stanley Cup playoffs, we're in the second round. We've got tonight. We've got a game six. Game six. Rangers and Hurricanes. Going back to Hurricanes. Rangers had a 3-1 lead in the series. They've appeared to be the more dominant, put together, more of a united kind of a front kind of team looking. That's how they look. They look really good. I mean, the Rangers have been solid. They had a game though, and I wanted to talk to you about this. Their last game to close out and move on to the conference final. Like, this is a team that's been working on this for 6 years, building this team. They can't close it out at home. And
Oh,
So they couldn't close out the series. They had a tough game. I mean, the place was absolutely rocking. Game 5, ready to go to the conference final in New York, and they come out and they produced a goal, one goal, and I think the final score of that game was excuse me, yeah, one goal, 4-1. They lost 4-1. So
Wow.
here's the trouble that I have with this. Now I want to just backstory this. This is a team, this Rangers team. They're seven. They were 7-1 in the playoffs at this point. Okay, to this point, up until
Mm-hmm.
this point, they swept through the first round. They were up 3-1. Their home fans at the end, the Ranger fans start booing them.
Seriously.
What do you think of that?
Well, okay. I know New York fans are relentless. Like,
But your
they're known for
team is
booing their own team.
7-1 in the playoffs. They're gelling, they're buzzing, and you're gonna boo them off the ice to send them to Game 6 in Carolina?
Yeah, that's interesting.
So, like, for me, I just want to double up, like, go big time on Carolina tonight because I'm
Yeah.
just like, but then I just think of the stuff I want to believe in. But man, like, you don't think those guys going to Game 7 after Carolina takes Game 6 tonight and have some serious butterflies and some serious pressure just based off the stupid fan core of the New York Rangers in that building?
Well, yeah. I mean, that would get into my head as a player.
And I, that's to say this. I mean, I don't know their level of concern as players. I mean, you're paid millions of dollars to do a job. I mean, so ultimately there's that. So you
Right.
can't weigh too much. You know what I mean? That's why this game is so tough. But anyways, the Rangers have to this point, uh, up until Game 5, really dominated play. But Game 5, now there's question marks. If there's one team, Mitch, that can come back, it's the Hurricanes against these guys and make a serious run. I'm
Wow.
serious. They got all the pieces. This Carolina team. I think we talked about it
Yeah.
in our first couple episodes. That was kind of my favorite going into this deal, and they kind of petered out. But we'll see how that game goes tonight. Also, Game 5. The series is tied 2-2. I don't even want to get into it. Let's wait to the very end because I'm telling you, this is forget it. I'll do it now because it's the night. It's the nightcap tonight. The most enjoyable series thus far
Ooh.
in the entire playoffs. If you are wanting to watch a back and forth every time they touch the puck, action-packed, offense-packed series, the Oilers and Canucks Game 5 in Vancouver tonight. This has all the elements of an historic gathering of play here. There, unfortunately, will have to be a loser of this series.
And it's cool there's two Canadian teams because Canada is literally like the birthplace of hockey. It's where it's the most popular. I love that there's two Canadian teams going at it.
Mitch, they're like next door to each other in Providence. Providence is like
Yeah.
like eh, like when the Canucks tied the game in Edmonton for Game 4 with like 3 minutes left. Yeah, you could probably hear the cheers Providence over.
Right.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
So, it's just got all the elements of this historic match. Great offensive firepower on both sides. Got some goons on the big offensively skilled goons on the Canucks, and of course the number one player in the world, Connor McDavid in the Oilers, and probably the best playoff player in the world in Leon Draisaitl on the Oilers. This series has been amazing and it's got it all. I have no pick for you because I don't know how it's going to shake out. Round 2 of the Panthers and Bruins.
Before we get into that, I have a question about the Oilers.
Mm-hmm.
So McDavid is obviously one of, if not the best player in hockey right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have a good enough team around him to where if Vancouver just isolates him, they can survive.
They
Because a lot
do.
of times that happens with stars. A team will be like, we got to stop. I'm going to say Victor Wembanyama, and then the Spurs have nothing else. Is that the same case in Edmonton, or
No. So here's the thing. Here's the thing with I see what you're trying to say. You're saying that if Connor McDavid got neutralized by the other team, would they still have an opportunity to win?
yeah,
To answer your question, yes. But here's the reality. Connor McDavid cannot be neutralized.
yeah,
He's the most unbelievable specimen of an athlete on the ice I've ever seen in my life. And when he touches the puck, I mean, the way that Edmonton team is coached is all around him and where they can plug him into. And rightfully so, because, I mean, he's a freak of nature in regards to his hands, to his skill. We know all the McDavid stats, but if for whatever reason he was irrelevant, I mean, they're leaning on the shoulders of Leon Draisaitl, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Bouchard's been an amazing defenseman for them this year. Down that Oilers team, skeptical about their goaltending. Now, in order to win the cup, you typically got to have it all. You just do, and that's why I don't know that team can make a run offensively. Mitch, they're the best power play. There's a stat out there that I'm not going to relay the stat because I don't know it firsthand, but essentially, this is the greatest power play of all time.
wow,
The Edmonton Oilers might be the greatest power play of all time statistically.
wow,
So, what they've done hasn't been done. I want to say the stat was this kind of production that they're getting out of hasn't been done in, I think, 55 years.
really,
Yes. So this is
wow.
the golden power play of our era. So it's very intriguing to watch. But I like the Canucks. I like some of their players, and they got the goaltending. If Thatcher Demko could get healthy, but we'll see. It's going to come down. I hope it goes 7. It's been an absolute blast to watch. It's worth every penny to watch. So
That's awesome. So I have just a fun hockey question, not being the biggest hockey fan, but I want to see your reaction to this question. So I've always been a fan of the Sharks just because they're the San Jose Sharks.
yeah,
And I know that they are god awful.
they got great
What is it?
colors too.
Yeah, what is it going to take for the San Jose Sharks to at least be semi-relevant?
Um. So what happened with the Sharks was when they made their push to win the cup. They're taught. I mean, you got to understand. So they got Joe Pavelski on that team, who's now a Dallas Star. Pavelski's probably on the tail end of his career. I would say he's probably got 3 or 4 years left, if he wants to play. Right. Brent Burns was on that team. Brent Burns is now the number 1 defenseman for the Carolina Hurricanes, right? So all teams in the playoffs still.
Yeah.
They built that team trying to support, in my eyes, a Joe Thornton who'd been a team captain for years of the Sharks, and they tried to bring a cup. They got Logan Couture. They just had a bunch of pieces that Eric Carlson they brought in, Evander Kane, they were stacked. They were built for the long haul. They just weren't built physically for the playoffs, was what it boiled down to. And so that whole thing kind of they kind of went all in on those guys, man. They kind of went all in on those guys, and now they're in a position where they got AHL players up, and they actually have. I don't believe that they even have anything in the pipeline.
Oh.
So I think that the long days are there's serious long days ahead of these guys for a while, probably for about 5-6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I realistically, unless something changes in regards to the salary cap, because they are upping the salary cap next year from 83 million to, I believe, 89 million. There's a $6-7 million increase or something like that. So we'll see, but yeah, no, they're not really
So they're basically the Athletics of the NHL.
They could be for some time. Like, I mean, it's still, like you said, like it's so competitive. They're still going to draw their fans. That we'll see this offseason if they try to make any sort of moves. But yeah, as of now, I mean, yeah, they're pretty much irrelevant. So
Wow.
yeah, that's just the truth. Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have a team in the NHL, but
Mhm.
they're just always a team that, like, if I ever had the NHL
Oh
game or,
man,
the old
I
backyard
remember.
hockey games, I always played as the Sharks.
Oh yeah, dude, and their colors are freaking sick. I remember
Yeah.
going to, I think it was like my second ever Coyotes game, my fair Phoenix Coyote game, and they were playing the Sharks, and I just remember seeing the guy's jersey, like the authentic NHL jersey of the actual home one of the teal and the little bit of
Yeah.
hint of orange in there, and the dude, their jerseys are sick.
Yeah.
So like hey, I'm and tend to play in that building when it's rocking the Shark Tank.
Yeah. And for
Yeah,
a
good luck.
casual fan, like a team like the Sharks, it's an easy one to like.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, um, yeah. Anyhow, let me just finish up on these two very
Yeah.
quick ones. The Florida series is over. We're going to Boston tonight, or excuse me, tomorrow night, which would be Friday. Going to Boston for Game 6. Brad Marchand, their captain, he's out. It's been an interesting series, but truly, it really hasn't even been that interesting. There's been some serious drama in regards to hits and bad calls and reviewable calls and all the elements of a decent series, but it's just not been as fun to watch because of the Bruins' depth. But that I say that, and I immediately am kind of leery because they do have the depth. They do have a couple superstars on their team, but
Right.
their team captain Brad Marchand is out. He's done. So I don't believe he can make a comeback. I don't know his status, but I don't think it's involving him in the rest of the series. This Florida team has all the elements, and in the East, they're my pick to go to the Cup and probably win it. They're that good.
Wow.
Yeah, this
So,
team is legit.
another what if question, just because I love these and I barely watch any hockey, so
Mhm.
might as well do it. If Toronto had won that game 7,
Okay.
would they put up a better fight than Boston is? This question's mainly for Josh because he's a closeted Leafs fan.
So, okay, here's I want to say yes because I want to be a Toronto believer. Like I always, still in the back of my heart, I want Matthews to do well. I have a different opinion about all that stuff now. I think if you gave those guys maybe an opportunity, they haven't been out of the first round. I don't even know what the stat is, but it's not great and it's dismal. And that's the biggest talk every year is the Leafs are
Yeah.
always competitive, but they always go out in the first round of the playoffs. And sure as shit, wouldn't you know, even with a historic build up to the game 7, all or nothing, and somehow they'd lose again. And um, but but if they had time to gel, like I'm not talking about gelling, I'm talking about postseason hockey and settling in, but they just never do. So
Right.
you don't know. But based off the eye tests and the potential and the pieces that everybody surrounded them with, especially the Toronto team, I do think they would have put up a better fight. I really do. Tough, easy to say. Totally irrelevant to the actual transparent
Well,
truth.
yeah,
I'll give
but
Boston a ton of credit where credit is due, but I'm telling you right now that they got absolutely outplayed this whole series, and the only reason that they got a fighting chance is because of their goalie, Jeremy Swayman. He has been absolutely lights out and given them a shot every single game. A couple times he got lit up, but it surely wasn't on just his shoulders, And this guy stepped up. If Boston can step up, I would be happy. I would be jacked. I'd be going historic because last year as they were up 3-0 or I believe 3-1 to Florida, and Florida came back and swept and won 4 straight,
wow.
and 3 straight or something like that, and sent them home. And this is after the Bruins had a historic year in regards to the President's Trophy and everything. So there's a lot of there could be potential a lot of like stuff, but from the analytics on paper and everything, the eye test,
Just not looking great.
the Florida Panthers are a very dominant team.
Yeah.
They're unreal. So then last little rant here, the Avs and the Stars. At this point, I'm just like, I don't even know where to stand on this one. The Stars have been absolutely smothering. They score, they get a lead, and they literally don't give it up. Except for last 2 nights ago, they finally gave up a 1-goal lead and ended up losing to Colorado. But Colorado got a little hot, and Colorado's got the pieces to get hot. And Cale Makar actually stood. He's been. This is okay to answer your question earlier about McDavid. I will say this about Makar. Makar has been absolutely shut down in the first 4 or 5 games of this series. Okay, he came out in Dallas the other night and could not be neutralized. Scored 2 goals. But so let's put it this way: both of these teams are absolutely stacked. However, Colorado had a massive blow to their team in regards to Nichushkin. I don't recall his first name. Nichushkin is their number 1 defenseman and big part of their scheme in regards to adding that extra threat at random times. This guy's a big, massive piece, and he actually was put on basically a 6-month leave.
Oh,
like game 3 after game 3. Yeah.
Like not an injury, like he did
like
something.
a drug, like he failed a drug test.
Oh, okay.
And it's his third offense, or they put him in phase 3 of this player program or whatever. But anyhow, so this is their big defenseman that's out. I think without him, they're probably not looking great to make a deep run. Anyways, their goalie's been okay. Goriev, it's not his fault. Nothing. So I think Dallas is the more well-rounded team, and I truly believe they'll be playing the Oilers or the Canucks in the next round, and that will be the series that really determines. I think the West hangs on to the Cup. I really do. So outside of Florida, if Florida's in it, I'm going for Florida, and I think they're going to win the Cup. So
there you go.
There are lots to shake out yet, so stay tuned, as I will. And Mitch, I appreciate you letting me go on about that.
Of course. I mean, that's kind of your sport. I don't know much about it. I've watched a few games, but it's just a sport I've never really gotten into, and I can't even explain why.
Understandable. Well, if you're looking for a barn burner experience of a hockey game, 8:00 tonight, Canucks Oilers. Fantastic.
And that's 8 our time?
Mm-hmm.
8 here in Montana, for those that don't know where we're at.
Yeah. All of our listeners in West Germany, now you know our time zone.
Yep. Awesome, man. So I teased it to you before we started recording. And we're finally to that point. We're going to get controversial here for a second.
Yes, let's talk. Let's get some drama up in this bitch.
Let's get a little drama. So, did you see Harrison Butker's speech?
Okay, so no, I didn't see this, but I read something that he had some sort of issue with, was it like homosexuals or something like that?
So, he went off on multiple things. Yes, homosexuals was one of them. He went off on the president, which that's neither here nor there. We're not here to talk politics. Whatever.
Joe Byron. Are you talking about Joe Byron?
Joe Byron. Yep.
Byron. Anyways.
Yep. But where he went off is he made a very, very misogynistic comment, and everybody is just torching him for it.
So he's getting absolutely obliterated for this? Like legitimately, you're talking about obliteration of his name?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm on TikTok, and there's at least 5 or 6 videos I've watched of men and women just saying this is the worst comment you can make. He made this commencement speech. He made this commencement speech at some college down in Georgia. I can't remember what it was or which one it was. But he said something like, all of you women in the audience, this is for you. While you're here at your graduation, and I'm paraphrasing, this isn't exactly what he said. you're probably thinking about all of the promotions and new jobs you're going to be getting, when really you should be focusing on being a homemaker.
What?
Yeah. And
No.
again, I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah,
That's
that's the
not a
thing. We can't paraphrase shit like this. What did he say?
here.
What
I'll
did
look
he
up
say?
exactly what he
I
said
want to know
because
what he said. I can't believe it. The context, it just doesn't add up. There's no way. He singled out the females in the audience.
yeah, no, he did.
What?
Yeah.
Tell me there's video of this.
Oh, there is. Trust me.
Play the
1 second.
clip. Play the clip out loud. We can hear it over the. I guarantee you, if you played it, we could hear it over yours. That's how we should start playing some clips.
That would be awesome. Here, well, let me see what he said.
Okay.
He's saying it was taken out of context. Oh, come on. It's not even. Oh, wait. Let me go back to that because it had the it had a transcript of it.
Oh.
Sorry, it's taking me a minute, guys.
Yeah. Jeez.
I didn't
Everybody's
have this
waiting
ready.
so patiently because they're chomping on the, they're all 65,000 of listeners that we have.
Yeah.
It's all right. We've put some fill, lines.
Okay. Well, anyway, it was really. I mean, this is a long speech.
Jeez. Okay. Yeah. Well, regardless, if he said that shit, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So he's saying that everybody took it out of context. So he must not have used. I mean, he must have used different words than this. Like, but he's getting
he had to have.
torched.
It was at a Saint Benedicture or something like that.
Huh. Okay. Well, anyways.
Yeah. Anyways, but it was just terrible, and
You're still doing your research over there.
I'm still doing my research because I'm close to it, or a thought. Maybe I don't know. I probably got. But anyways, yeah, it was not good, and he's getting all the
Whiplash.
hate.
Wow.
Which he probably should.
I mean, if there was something implied, like, yeah, there's one time in this planet, in this Earth, this universe, that you can't say that, it's now.
Yeah, that's kind of a big no-no.
Anyways, yeah,
But
that's a
even,
very
like-
odd thing too to like put into people's perspective. Like, what kind of perspective were you trying to get people? Like, you should
Right.
find someone who's the husband who's rich and focus on your looks, and I don't get it.
Yeah, no, crazy.
Yeah, very interesting. Homemaker. Wow.
Yeah.
And those, let's just say this right now. Okay. Let's just say this right now, the other side, not to play devil's advocate. I don't have enough information about that. But I do know some very hardworking women that call themselves homemakers and take tremendous pride in it.
Yes.
So,
it is not no shame if you want to be a homemaker at all. Being a homemaker is awesome. It takes one hell of a lot of work to do it.
Oh, yeah.
But to say that in a commencement speech at a college is kind of...
I would just have to know his tone, and I got to hear it. So, hey,
Yeah.
Upcoming episode, we're going to elaborate on this homemaker stuff.
We will elaborate on it next week, probably.
I love it. For now,
Yeah.
I got to go take some ribs off the smoker. They've been smoking. I'm doing a little ribs tonight because I'm playing golf tomorrow, and I didn't eat all day. I'm hungrier than hell, and I got to
Oh,
insane.
that sounds amazing.
I know it's gonna be a god. It's gonna be awesome. I'm excited.
That sounds amazing, man. Well, hey, we will be back next week better than ever. Thank you so much
Oh
for listening. And we'll be back with more
yes.
NHL talk, maybe some NFL because the schedule dropped this week. So,
Oh yeah, dang, we got to
yeah,
cover that. Yeah, all
yeah,
right. Hey, next week or whenever. Might be tomorrow. We just don't know. There might be so
whenever
much
we
stuff
feel
to
like
talk
it.
about. Yeah, it's whenever we want. So, yeah, we don't have any
Subscribe to us on
schedules. So
YouTube and Facebook and all the good places.
yeah, let's go. Let's keep growing this thing.
Yep. All right. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll be back next week.
You do.